Briefing Forecast, your host, I'm Kamaz. We did get some relief after those days of the intense heat we were dealing with, but the big question is, will that last? As we look at temperature trends from the Climate Prediction Center, as well as looking at storm probabilities and what you need to know as we start this new month. So let's get started with those temperature trends from the Climate Prediction Center. And I know you're thinking, Alvin, does these above normal temperatures mean more heat? Not necessarily, because we also have to look at our normal high temperatures before we look at this, which for Missouri and Illinois, our normal highs for this time of the year are in the mid to upper 80s. So when our Climate Prediction Center calls for above normal temperatures, which this graphic goes over the next week, you can expect temperatures just like that or slightly above. Now, of course, they continue to update this graphic, so expect changes, but think upper 80s, lower 90s over the next week. But you're also going to notice that gradual increase in temperatures and humidity, not just this week, but again, over the next week. And when we look for consistency and if this is actually going to happen, notice our 8 to 14-day temperature outlook, while confidence slightly decreases, it's still showing a good portion of the U.S. dealing with those above normal temperatures. But as we deal with that gradual increase in temperatures and humidity, you're probably thinking about storms, especially since that humidity has been really responsible for producing heavier rainfall this summer over parts of our area. And when we think about those storm probabilities over the week of August 3rd, it's just north of us. But let me talk to you about what we're dealing with this week. We actually have a high pressure setting up just to our west, and as it moves closer to overhead, it actually brings a return flow of those southerly winds. And that's the reason why you'll notice that gradual increase in humidity and gradual increase in temperatures over the next few days. But on the edge of that high ridge, that is where storms like to travel through, and that's what we like to call ridge runners. And those storms will just be to our north, maybe over parts of Iowa, parts of the plains. Wisconsin is also a place that could deal with storms. Again, over the next week, paying attention to this at the bottom of your screen showing you the time frame we're looking at. But over the next week or two, we also have to keep an eye on if those disturbances come our way, because that can happen during the summer. And you notice the second week of August, between August 10th and 16th, it shows you the possibility of those disturbances coming our way. There's still a possibility those storms just stay to our north, but if they do, that is something we have to keep an eye on, especially during the summer, and also kids are going back to school as well. But also because this is very typical when you have a high ridge of high pressure and ridge runners that go on the edge of it, sometimes you can get those disturbances to come our way. And we're also going to have a lot of moisture to work with as well, so we'll have to keep an eye on locally heavier rainfall during this time period. Again, it will change, that's why I don't want to stress on it and I don't want you to worry about it, but this is just something to keep on your radar in case we see this consistency. The goal is to see those storms just stay to our north, but if they don't, this is what you can do. And this is just a procedure. This is for the entire year, not just when we talk about storms. Always during the summer, having your NOAA weather radio, replace the batteries on them, alerts come immediately. Of course, other resources are your phone, but remember, you always want to have multiple resources, especially if you're someone that isn't good at charging your phone. During the summer, let's say you're taking a nap one day, you always want to have a NOAA weather radio. Also, if you have it, make sure it's always toggled to on. Put fresh batteries on them and just replace them the other day in order to get those warnings at the middle of the night. So again, very great resources. Just go to Midland USA to get yourself a NOAA weather radio today to keep your family safe during the 2025 severe weather season. And again, it's not because I'm talking about storms. This is a procedure that we always want to have throughout the year. My NOAA weather radio is always on, so when there's storms, me and my family are ready to act, and I want the same thing for you. But of course, our forecast is actively changing. Just like our Climate Prediction Center is going to update that outlook, it's going to change as well. Northern Illinois University, those graphics I just showed you from them, that's going to update as well. You always want to have multiple ways to get those updates, not just from local TV stations and local TV meteorologists, but also following me over on X. I'll be there to bring you those outdoor weather reports, honest, and of course I've looked at model guidance before I do these videos so that I can bring you that accurate forecast, and that is always my goal, to bring accurate forecast to you and your family. The link to that will be down in the description. Also follow me over on Instagram and Threads. Those are great resources as well. So again, that gradual increase in temperatures, gradual increase in humidity, the key word to today's video is gradual. So it's not all going to happen at once, but again, you can never roll out one more episode of intense heat before summer is officially over. Just with all that, we also have to keep an eye on storms. So I'll be doing all that to make sure you're safe by also following me on my socials so that I can bring you that as quickly as possible. But until then, I hope you have a safe start to your week, Missouri and Illinois, and wherever else you're watching me.